against the silent scripts of worldviews. There are countless instructions on how to live, how to love, how to think, how to behave. Media, series, advice columns, all of them claim to have the answers. But often these answers are not help, but quietly wrapped commands. Created by people with influence, power, reach. People who believe that just because they are heard, they know what's right for others. Of course, no one would ever admit this openly, but that's exactly where the danger lies. The manipulation is quiet, charming, seductive, and it works most effectively where it goes unnoticed, in the everyday, in the normal. Many systems, in truth, operate like cults. The idea may seem exaggerated, but it touches a raw nerve. When we hear the word cult, we instinctively begin to question, to think critically. Because cults have clear structures, rules, dependencies, they openly show what they demand. They even lay out their manipulation in the form of codes of conduct, restrictions, rituals, and that makes them more transparent. Everyday society, on the other hand, does not do this. Its manipulation comes disguised. It wears no uniform. It hides behind humor, glamour, scientific authority, or emotional intimacy. That doesn't make it less effective. On the contrary, it makes it harder to detect. Its rules are not written on paper, but found in glances, in likes, in unspoken pressure. Those who withdraw are quickly labeled strange, difficult, selfish. But those who conform risk losing themselves. The society we live in is organized through capitalism, and capitalism is not evil per se, but it is merciless in its logic. People are analyzed, psychologically dissected, categorized, not to help them, but to make them controllable. Because the goal is not insight, but profit. Not truthfulness, but efficiency. Once you understand how deep this mechanism runs, how it permeates thought, feeling, decision-making, it becomes clear. Choosing to step out of it is not weakness, it is an act of freedom. And so, stay awake, stay alert. Don't trust blindly. Not the rules, not the roles, not the so-called recipes for success. You don't have to play along to be someone. And if you do, then only in your own language. Because your path belongs to you and no one else. Life is meant to be lived, not to be bent into structures just because a majority once decided this is how it must be. Many won't even understand that first sentence. Not because the words are difficult, but because their thinking can no longer reach them. It's like receiving directions in a foreign language. The signs are there, the path is open, but it makes no sense because the system's language was never allowed to become their own way of thinking. And so many keep following paths that were never truly theirs. Not out of laziness, but because they never learned to even recognize alternatives. Yes, thinking has been unlearned by many, but that's another story. Right now, it's about finding your own thinking again. Because freedom begins exactly there, in the quiet moment when you ask yourself, what if this is not my path at all? And then, simply walk another.